Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls all over the world, my name is Brandon Davis, aka Rags to Riches, and as always, ladies and gentlemen, I have no idea why you're here, okay? I have no idea.
Rags to Riches. Do not like, comment, or subscribe.
Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you something. All right. I got the real vibes, okay? So we got real vibes here. But I'm going to tell you something, guys. What I have on my face right now is absolutely groundbreaking. Okay? This is big time breaking news. Rags to Riches found his original glasses. Now, if you remember, how can we tell that these are the originals? Because there's a small crack. Let's check here. Small crack right here. I don't know if you guys can see it. Probably not. There it is. Yep, at the bottom there. These are the originals, guys. You guys remember back in the day. Who remembers back in the day, ladies and gentlemen? You guys remember the intro? Do we need to play the intro again? I think we might need to play that intro. Come on. We got the vibes on. We got to play the original intro. Let's find this thing real quick. Won't take long, ladies and gentlemen. Tell me how you're doing in chat. Not that I care. I'll probably make fun of you. You guys know how it goes, man. I think I found a video with the original intro. I think so. Let me see if this is it. Let me see.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name's
Yeah,
Brandon
boy.
Davis.
Uh-oh. Oh, Lord. Lord have all the mercy here. I think it's about to go down. All right. We're sharing this thing. Guys, the vibes. Look. Oh, dang. Hold on. Mess that up. Friggin'. That's very typical of Rags. You guys know that, right? All right, there it is. Look. The vibes. We found them. We found him in the deep, dark recesses of Rags' lair, his dwelling space. All right, here we go. Here's the intro, folks, from way back when.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name's Brandon Davis. I'm the founder of the Rags to Riches community. I am highly, highly unqualified to give you any advice about anything. I barely graduated high school. Do not like or comment on any of my videos, and please do not subscribe. Let's get to it.
Dang. You guys remember it. I know y'all remember it, man. You guys remember it, the good old days. Back in the day, and still, I made fun of you guys then. I make fun of you now. It feels good. It feels good. We're starting to get those bull market vibes back. Rags is turning it up a little bit. He's putting on the pressure. He's heating things up. He might keep, when these glasses come on, he turns into somebody else, ladies and gentlemen. He might keep doing some crazy stuff this whole 2024, 2025. It feels good. Oh, yeah, by the way, I produced that track. Guys. I mean, that's what makes it special. Let's check chat here. I got some stuff I got to share with you guys. Might benefit you. South Texas Crypto just got word from a buddy that said he liked your content and recently got into Hex, Texan, staked both PLS and PLSX. Hopefully more to come. Guys, did you just hear that? What about all that FUD? Rags it in the pure blood. Rags is diluting the ecosystem. Rags just cares about himself. Rags created an S token, a poop token, we'll say. Well, looks like Rags just onboarded somebody into 4 or 5 assets into this Pulse Chain community, this new digital nation. How's it make you feel? Hex Force One, what's up? Rags Red Beard. So you guys, you don't even look at me anymore. You're just looking at the red beard. I see how it is. Godfather J6, what is good in the hood? Christopher Andre, giddy up. Sam, I am. Hola, amigos. Sam was around back in the day. Godfather's around back in the day. It's been a minute, man. Forged in the fires of the bear market of 2022, 2023. Well, 20 portions of 2021 as well. Finn Bear, what's up? Kazar Sows, what's up? Christopher Andre, Fallen Comrade, what is up, everybody? The Vanishing West Virginia Red Coat Bear, coming from the Charlotte Houdini. That means a lot. All right, here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the deal. We keep going through his comments. However, you can shill your stuff. And when I say shill your stuff, you can put your projects in the comments. I get the deciding vote as to whether or not I'm going to talk about them. But if you give me those, I just might pull it up on Deck Screener. We might have a conversation. We might learn about something, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to use this channel to talk about Pulse Chain, to talk about all of the amazing things that are happening on Pulse Chain, and all these products and all these builders and all these communities. Let's talk about it. All right? Let's not be afraid. Let's shed our fear, and let's push forward gallantly, confidently into the future here, ladies and gentlemen. Fallen Comrade, what's up, everybody? Hex Force One likes those Vipes. These are the budget Vipes, the Target Vipes. But like I said, I mean, these were $5. These definitely weren't $5. I actually prefer these. I always have, always will. I might even wear these the next meetup. I remember the first Hex meetup I went to, nobody knew who I was until I put these things on. I thought you were a lot smaller than that. FS. Hi, Rags. What do you think about PWBTC? It seems like a hidden opportunity. We'll talk about it. Sam, I am. Yep. Pulse Former. What is good? Back in the day when you had that flying V. You remember that, man. Remember that, Christopher Andre? Christopher Andre is part of Ginger Folk. If you want to know how to be a part of Ginger Folk, you got to find out. I'm not telling you. Trap Gravity. What is up? Arrow pointing up. Fire. Sensei Dozy don't like. Outstanding, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So, instruction number 1 for this stream. What could it possibly be, Rags? You guys might notice that in the description of this stream, there is a Telegram room. Okay, there's a link to a Telegram room. And it might be the 9mm Telegram room. It might behoove you, ladies and gentlemen, to join that Telegram room and stand by. It might behoove you to join that Telegram room and stand by. That's all that I'm going to say. Magnus, what is up? Magnus, up in the Arctic Circle. Looks like those reindeer are on vacation now. You got them all fat for the winter. You took them down to a vacation in the Bahamas. Now they're back up freezing their little reindeer balls off. Facing reality, Vipes and all. All right, got it. Immutable, made it for the first time in a long time. Good. All right, Keanu, greetings from the friendly skies. Hello, Keanu. Evening from Dublin. You look more Irish than me. Well, look at that. I think I'd fit in well if I just kept my mouth shut. And if I opened my mouth, I don't know what would happen. Is it rough up there in Dublin? Is it rough? Stan Happening, what's up? Viber Finance, let's go. Have you heard about this project called Texan? We will get to that. I haven't heard about that project. And I'm pretty happy about that project, quite honestly. We'll talk more about it. Duck. Look at Pulp. Icosa. 9mm. All right, here it comes. It's coming. All right, ladies and gentlemen, no link. No link in the description. Let me double check that. We got a link. I got to make sure we got that before we keep moving forward here. Right? All right. Right. Let me see. Oh, yeah, there is no link. Project. All right, sorry. Let's get that link going here. No link. I want to make it fair. Thanks for pointing that out, Yup K. You're good for something. Not much, but something. I'll go and grab this, put it in there, and then we're going to kind of get into this. We will get into what is happening right now. Because I would imagine that you guys are pretty happy, and all these people are starting to text you saying, yo, what's going on with Pulse Chain? What's going on with PulseX? What's going on with this? What's going on with that? All right. Boom. Save. All right. It should be there now. It could be there now. I hope it is. You guys verify that for me. If not, you guys can also put it in chat. No, is that the right one? I don't think that's the right one, bro. Is that the right one? No, it's Dex 9-inch. Telegram is Dex 9-inch, but it should be in the comments there. Okay. And I'll check and see. Hold on, you'll hear me. No, you didn't hear me. Yep, it's there. All right, cool. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. We're going to push forward. Let's just check and see what is happening. I mean, why is everything happening here? Okay, I have made the statement recently, and I've gotten quite a bit of heat for this. It seems to me that everything that I heard during the bear market from RH seems to be kind of coming to fruition. And you guys remember, when people would ask him, what sort of projects would you like to see launched? And he never really said anything. In fact, he said, you know what? There's all those copies are going to come over from Ethereum. I don't really see why we need any projects on Pulse Chain. And everybody freaked out about that. And admittedly, I was like, how does that make any sense? And I didn't ever take Richard as the type of guy that was like super stealthy and clandestine about his comments. Always took him I'd go back and kind of look back and reflect on things, and he's pretty straightforward with stuff. He's not very cryptic. So I said, why would he be saying something like that? This makes no sense. And now it's starting to come into focus a little bit more. I really do believe that this guy has, I thought he had a lot of Bitcoin, but I think this dude has a lot of Bitcoin. I think this dude has a lot of Ethereum. He doesn't have to sell Hex whatsoever. I really believe that. And I believe, he says it's for the glory. You guys have seen the Highest of Stakes documentary, right? Okay. And he talks about it. He's like, I'm in it for the glory. That's what it's about. So if you got potentially here, billions of dollars, billions, would you use a portion of that if you wanted to get your glory and be up there with the big dogs in terms of layer ones? Would you use a portion of that to buy up your own supply? I think he would. And I think he was telling us that the whole time. Now, some people might say, Rags, you're late to the party. No, I'm not late to the party. There's other things that were hanging out in my head that I was curious about. But at this point, guys, for a variety of reasons, the lawyers and some other stuff, I'm going to tell you right now, if your project is paired with Pulse and you have some sort of community and you can just stay alive right now, okay? And if you can take ownership of Pulse Chain and talk to more people about it, the projects that are here right now will be the projects that people dump into and ape into when they find Pulse Chain for the first time. So congratulations if you're here right now. Congratulations, because it's pretty big. All right, let's share this. All right, so what do we have here? Let's go ahead and sort. What do we want to sort by? We'll sort by volume. Yeah, that's probably a good way. All right, topping out volume on Pulse Chain right now. If you've just joined us, Pulse Chain is a layer 1 fork of Ethereum. Okay. Significantly less gas fees than Ethereum. It's a system state copy, which means it copied all of your ERC20 tokens over to Pulse Chain. Not that they necessarily have value. However, some of them do, and we'll go over that. But not that they necessarily have value, but it could be beneficial for you to join the Pulse Chain network and add some contract addresses to your wallet to find out if you have any value in there for absolutely free. Yes, free. So Pulse DAI pair, doing pretty well volume-wise, $9.6 million worth. PLSX, Pulse doing well. Incentive token, Pulse USDC, WETH, Pulse, Hex, Pulse, $2.8 million. And then we have the DAI effect down here. So DAI, Pulse. Now, obviously, this is the copied over DAI that the PEG folks are just going crazy about. Everybody's saying this thing is it's going to peg, it's going to rip to the upside. There was some information that came out this week that makes another case for it. So if you guys want to talk about that, we'll talk about that. USDL Pulse. So that's obviously the stable coin here, about $885,000 worth of volume. Teddy Bear Atropa. EHEX, interesting. Okay, EHEX paired with Hex from Pulse. Diatropa pair on 9. Okay, so this is the first token I've seen here. On 9mm, we've got Hex, Pulse, and then rounding out the top 20 are EHEX and Wrapped Bitcoin. And this is the copied Wrapped Bitcoin, not the bridged over Wrapped Bitcoin. Let's check chat here. Okay, I barely graduated high school. Yep. Arrow pointing up. Yep. With Vipes and all, we are viping it up. Yep. Icosa, Ophir. Yeah, all sorts of cool stuff today. Duck. All right. So Duck, we didn't really talk about last week. If you just got here, be very aware that there is a link to a Telegram, the 9-inch Dex Telegram, and it might behoove you to be present in that Telegram, because at some point in the stream, anything could happen. That's all I'm going to tell you. You might want that Telegram on standby. Okay. All right, Duck. So we didn't talk about Duck last week. We'll talk about Duck this week. I'm just going to assume Duck it's the meme of the week. Are we referring to Richard Hart's Duck in his live streams? Is that what we're referring to? Or maybe we did talk about it. I got the chart marked here. Maybe we talked about it Saturday to see how high up it would go. I don't know. Let's check it out. All right. We have Duck on the daily here. It's launched 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, like 15 days ago. Makers to transactions, that ratio is good. It's about a 1 to 2, or 2 to 1 rather, with transactions being higher and makers being lower. We like to look at this to determine how much bot activity is actually occurring. So individual makers, unique makers, people who are actually buying things up. Okay. And let's check buy volume today, 30,000. Sell volume, 26,000. Interesting. Current market cap, 389,000. Very small market cap. 30K of liquidity, assuming that this is on, it's got to be on Uniswap V2, because we have equal amounts of Duck and Pulse at $15,000 worth of exit liquidity, which is Pulse. Okay, interesting. Lewis the Duck, yep, we talked about this. Lewis the Duck made a jubilant entrance into Pulse Chain, eager to reunite with his best friend and become the top meme coins on the chain. Together they embarked. Wait, who's his best friend? Lewis the Duck, eager to reunite with his best friend and become the top meme coin. A teddy bear, I guess. Together they embarked on a whimsical journey, infusing the decentralized landscape with humor and charm. Lewis, with his flapping wings and distinctive quirkiness, quickly became the talk of the blockchain in this digital adventure. Teddy and Lewis, so we were right, an inseparable duo, carved a niche as beloved icons of Pulse Chain, leaving a pixelated trail of laughter and friendship. How cute is that? It's, cute. We're getting soft, man. Everybody's getting soft here. But I'll tell you, Lewis the Duck, we had a nice little pump. We had a nice little correction here. That looked like, what was this? About a 60% sell-off. And now we've got a little pump back up to the upside. What are we going to be looking at here? Well, when it breaks all-time high, a lot of traders, I'd say probably, you can do the body of the candle if you want. Some people like to do that. But if you see that break towards the upside, some people would probably go long at that point and maybe wait for a confirmation before they came back out of that. That's sometimes what people do. But this is a super low market cap with super low liquidity, a massive amount of, volume for the size of the market cap and the amount of liquidity. So very, very interesting. Something to keep your eye on, especially when we see all of these meme tokens and all of these meme coins ripping to the upside. I think that there's a lot to be said about utility tokens, but I don't think that utility tokens are the tokens that will shine during the transition between the bear and the bull market. Now, we're kind of in our own bubble too, because I am under the assumption that some entity is having a big part in pushing a pulse chain to the upside. So we can be experiencing a completely different market, even though Bitcoin, kind of sold off after everything got approved ETF wise. Maybe the markets are picking back up. Maybe we go into this alt season. We'll see what happens here. But one thing's for sure, things are moving, things are pumping. And whoever that entity is that is pumping pulse chain and buying up, they're paying the exit liquidity for all those people that wanted to get out around the SAC rate. So the very important psychological level here, and we're watching that live and in the moment. Okay, let's keep going here. Let me know in chat what you want. If you just joined, you might want to click the link that's in the description to a Telegram channel, and you might want to stand by. All right, somebody asked me about pulp. Let's pulp it up. Let's see what pulp's all about. All right, let's just check and make sure. Checking for liquidity here. So about $19,000 of liquidity. It's sitting at 3 zeros and a 1. It's been about 13 days old. Okay. So a lot of times what you see, I don't know if, you'll have a start price. It'll pump really, really hard. And then you'll have a sell-off. Typically that initial sell-off for meme coins, I would say meme coins are a little bit, I would say they maybe are like more along the lines of 45 days. You'll have a sell-off before things get picked up. And you'll probably have about a 70 to 75% correction. Sometimes it's a little bit further. But it just depends. It depends on people, whether or not people take to this. $19,000 of liquidity, 9,800 of that is in Pulse, which is how you exit out of this. 37 buyers, 19 sellers. The ratio is good. 50 makers, 100 transactions. Micro market cap, 115,000. And if I'm not mistaken, this is associated with the orange folks here. I think the orange folks are airdropped this token. Okay, good stuff. Checking through here. So again, I guess it's up to the community, the orange community, as to whether or not they want to take to this. But you're kind of entering that zone now where you could see some sort of pump action. So it's about 70. I would say this first candle doesn't really count, but the second candle counts a lot more for me. You're about 79% down. Again, 60 to 90% corrections is kind of what you look for in this. $4,600 worth of volume. There it is. Somebody's asking for ICOSA. Let's check ICOSA. And we'll do it on Pulse Chain here because I think it's moving harder. Liquidity's pretty good on V3 on Uniswap. On Ethereum, so 47,000 paired with WETH, 77K paired with USDC. It'll be interesting to see. A lot of times if you have a lot more ICOSA than you do WETH on Uniswap V3, that typically means, well, not typically, sometimes means that there are people that are setting targeted strips of liquidity of, in this case, ICOSA, right above price. So when price pumps through, they will basically get the Ethereum as people buy into it. It's a way to kind of get out of the market without nuking price. You're not market selling. You're getting out with Uniswap V3 instead. So a lot of times when you see this lopsided liquidity, you see more ICOSA than you do WETH, or you see more whatever meme coin than Pulse. And there's V3 functionality. People are trying to get out of the market, but it's a clean way to get out of the market. It's a responsible way. It's the efficient way. It's not necessarily the fastest way to do it, but when things are pumping, it's a good way to get out. So ICOSA, guys, Alex, at this point, I think we're in pretty much strong agreement that, Alex is doing some pretty cool things. Now, this is the Ethereum chart. We're going to go back here we're going to go to the pulse chain chart because this just represents more of where the economic energy is with the community. So as you can see, guys, it broke its pulse chain all-time high. It looks like about 2 days ago. It absolutely ripped to the upside, 12.32x. We were actually talking about this in our Patreon Telegram. We were talking about, hey guys, these are some really, really good levels to get this. We were also talking about incentive token. I said, guys, these are some really, really good levels to get this. And then suddenly out of nowhere, just bam, ripped to the upside. A nice fat 10x. How does that make everybody feel? Okay. So why is everybody doing this? Well, people have a tremendous amount of faith in Alex, first and foremost. Secondly, the thing that he's creating has massive amounts of utility for the ecosystem. I guess the less friction that you have applied to an asset, the more it can grow, the faster it can grow. And he's decreasing friction for Hex, and he's made a really, really cool product. Now, the big news here is Q4-ish, Q3, Q4, and maybe prior. We're switching over to a brand new system that will, I guess for lack of a better term without getting into the weeds, do a really good job of, again, decreasing friction between two chains, Ethereum and Pulse Chain. So people are betting that this is going to hit hard. Another thing to point out, we're looking at right now, we've got, it's tied very closely to Hex. If Hex is going to move to the upside, Icosa and Hedron are also going to move to the upside. People have called this Hex 2.0 in some ways. I think that in cryptocurrency, the cryptos that do well are the ones that last the longest and people feel most comfortable with. So you can have something like Hex, and then you can have iterations of Hex or derivatives of Hex that happen afterwards that might be more technologically advanced, but people don't trust it as much. So there's still, Hex is kind of seen as the Bitcoin of this ecosystem. And as time goes on, that value increases and risk decreases, if that makes sense. So Icosa and Hedron just absolutely tearing to the upside. Congratulations. I told you guys, nobody is going to outweight me with my whatses. Okay? Nobody's going to do it. So don't even try. A lot of you guys sold that stuff already. It is what it is. Okay. Let us check here. We got a lot to talk about. All right, we're going to talk about Texan. Let me pull this up here. Okay, Texan token of Texan, outstanding. All right, so let us zoom out here. Texan token has been very, very interesting, folks. Very, very interesting. We'll go ahead and share this. All right. So obviously, Pulse Chain launched. Texan kind of sold off and found a floor for quite a while. And it seems as if, so if we go to Texan here, it seems as if somebody has created a tremendous amount of semi-thick pairs of liquidity with Texan. Now, I say semi-thick. It's got more, some of these off pairs have more liquidity than some meme coins. So you've got Pulse pairs with Texan, V1, V2. You've got Hex pairs with Texan. You've got PLSX. You've got Incentive Token. You've got HOA. You've got 9inch. You've got UpX. You've got all sorts here. You got PP. So it seems that maybe somebody in the community, because a lot of people love Texan, they understand how liquidity works, especially with Uniswap V2. And now we have greater efficiency because we do have a V3 fork in 9mm. So let's check here. Texan has done extremely well. It's gaining not only in US dollar value, but we will also switch this over to Pulse value. And we will also see that it has done a very, very good job to gain Pulse value in that same amount of time as well. It bounced very, very strongly off this floor in terms of Pulse. In fact, I heard a lot of people saying, hey, this ratio is about to flip Ratio is about to flip, guys. So you might want to do something down here in terms of your Texan and your pulse. And sure enough, it shot to the upside. Very, very interesting stuff here. So the question of the day is, is Texan a meme coin? What is Texan? Some would say that Texan is on its way to being an apex asset. And some would say that there are very, very interesting things in the future that we're going to be able to point to and say, yep, told you so. Here it is. Look at this. 32% away from Pulse Chain all-time high, doing very, very well. I'll also point out interesting stuff here. Texan looks to have broken for the first time on one pool $106,000 of liquidity. Congratulations. Okay. 192 makers, 280 transactions. Looks to be $20,000 in volume. Pretty interesting. So, guys, ladies and gentlemen, Texan on the move. Texan moving and grooving. Let's check the other liquidity on the other places. So, about $4,000 or $5,000 worth of Hex in Texan, $8,000 worth of PLSX, $19,000 on 9mm worth of Texan and Pulse, and $1,000 worth of incentive, $3,000 this and that. Good stuff. Texan looks pretty healthy. If I do this now, guys, from a standpoint, I am the founder of Texan, so make sure that you don't believe anything that I say and you verify everything that I'm saying. Just make sure that you know that I am the founder. It's very important that you understand that. So anything coming out of my mouth, you have got to verify. Do not trust me. Don't trust anything that I say because, ladies and gentlemen, I did barely graduate high school. Bruh. Okay. Let's keep going here. Good afternoon, sir. South Texas. Okay, got it. Speaking of Hex, you better have your bags packed. Let's take a look at Hex. Let's do it. Guys, I don't like to talk about Hex. I didn't talk about it in the bear market. And that's because I didn't feel like it was appropriate. I'm doing my own thing. I'm talking about Texan, and I didn't want to grab off of Hex. But I think we're at the point now where everybody's just doing real well. And, it's not going to mix people up in their emotions. And I'm a bag holder of Hex, so let's freaking talk about it, man. Congratulations to Hex holders. Congratulations to everybody, really. This is Hex on Pulse Chain. What's interesting here, let's check it, about 144%. And is this right? This can't be right. Is this right? Yeah, 144% in the past couple weeks. Let me just check here. Let me make sure I got the right period. Yeah, $27 million liquidity. Okay, cool. So Hex moving and grooving right now. Hex looking good. We actually have a higher high and we had a higher low. So what we're going to look for right now, and I said the same thing, and I'll show you this in a second. Hex on Ethereum looks really, really juicy right now. And I made a post about that yesterday. I'm going to explain to you why it looks juicy. It's a really, really strong trade setup. So I'll take if you're the type of person who likes swing trades, maybe do 1 or 2 trades a year based on good looking setups. It might be an opportunity. I don't know. Again, I barely graduated high school here. So Hex is looking strong against Pulse. Let's check and see. Obviously right now, Hex did really, really well at the beginning, kept making higher highs and higher lows, but right now Pulse is pumping to the upside. And Hex is losing against Pulse. Now the question becomes, how far is this going to lose against Pulse? Okay, how far is it going to lose? Because at some point you're going to expect this thing to turn around, right? You're going to expect it to turn around. And if you have a lot of Pulse, one play that you could be thinking about is at some of these significant levels on the way down. If you go to Deck Screener at the top, there's a toggle for USD price or Pulse. You might think about swapping Pulse for Hex at some of these levels down here if you think that Hex isn't going to lose out forever. And why is that? Well, if you swap Pulse when it's the most expensive for Hex when it's the least expensive, comparatively speaking, and Hex starts running, then you're doing very, very well. It's like a ratio trade in a way. So Hex, doing what Hex does, it's paired with this stuff. Pulse Chain has been running. A lot of stuff has been losing against Pulse Chain. But Hex, make no mistake, thick liquidity. And remember this, the OGs of this Pulse Chain ecosystem, they are Hexagons, guys. Hexagons are the richest people on this chain. And Hexagons want to see Hex do well. And that's for a variety of reasons. One thing, they're pretty emotionally attached to Hex. The people who Hex was able to retire or, pay off a house or buy some cars, this or that, they're emotionally tied to it. And there's something to be said about that. So they're going to see it do well. So, all I'm saying is you might not want to bet against the people who love Hex so much because they've got bags. That's just like a logical sort of thing here. So we'll continue to take a look at this. And honestly, while I'm at it here, let's go to Trading View. And I want to show you the setup. I want to show you what I'm talking about with Hex on Ethereum. Now, obviously, this is not a science. There's a lot of supply that's sitting out there from some quote unquote bad actors. And there's a couple other factors here that we need to take a look at. However, here's Hex. Hex is sitting at, what's the price? 0.00934. There's a pretty strong level of resistance at a penny. Okay. This is the sort of setup that's very interesting. You've got the 200-day and you've got the 100-day moving average. The 200-day is represented by the red line. The 100-day is represented by this white line. There's a couple things that you look for here. And I'll get my little drawing tool. The first thing that you look for when you have a bear market is you're going to look for price moving down, okay? It's going to move down. It's going to be underneath both averages. Once price comes up above the 100-day moving average, okay, that's your first signal. All right, so that's signal. All right, that's the first signal there. Now, when you see this, and you also see this other pattern, which is the 200 on top, the 100 on the bottom, coming down to form this point, or we're going to call it an apex. Okay. This is the shape that we're looking for here. Now, once you see this, and you see that these moving averages are coming in on each other here, you're going to look for price to come up inside here and start bouncing back and forth. Now, I think the best way to talk about this is the following. When it's bouncing back and forth, it's almost like you're compressing price like a coil of a spring. So you got pressure, you got downward pressure, and you got downward and upward pressure, upward and downward pressure. So price gets in here, it starts chopping back and forth. And at some point, sometimes it's when this apex intersects, sometimes it's a little bit before, but price will chop back and forth. Chop, 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 chop. And then all that energy from that spring lets loose. And it explodes to the upside. Okay? This is something that has happened many times in the past with many different cryptocurrencies. And in fact, maybe I can just pull up an example. So let me pull up an example to show you how this works. This isn't 100% of the time, guys. Make sure you know that this is not 100% of the time. This is just a little signal. This is a pattern to look for here. Okay, so this is a perfect example. Love it. Perfect. Okay. We're going to go back in time. We're going to go back in time to Bitcoin. We'll go back in time to Bitcoin circa 2018. Who remembers all this? Who remembers this craziness, the pandemonium, the Elmo from Sesame Street doing lines of cocaine and that meme, and you guys know what I mean here. All right, so we had a huge blow off top. Okay, massive correction to the downside, came back up, and we had our moving averages. Now, what was interesting is these moving averages, the 100-day moving average fell underneath the 200-day. So that's good. That's what we want to see. Everybody thought that Bitcoin was going to pop to the upside because it was making this structure. Everybody thought it was going to go whoop. And did it? No, it did not. It did the opposite. And everybody freaked out, except for the smart folks. Massive amounts of volume here. Okay. So now we're in the doldrums. Okay. Everybody is just like, screw crypto. I'm not coming back. Everybody disappears except for the smart money. So what did the smart money do? Well, here we go. Here's the setup. Price underneath the 100-day moving average. Price pops in. Here's our first signal, just like we talked about a second ago. Here's our first signal. Now, I said that sometimes it can go back and forth in here, or sometimes it can just pop through and take off before that. But there is a pressure. Now, this would make a little bit more sense if I turned on some of the other moving averages here. So let me show you kind of what I'm talking about. Do I have the moving average? Boom, boom. Yeah. Okay. This kind of looks a little busy, but you get these moving averages that come in here and they compress. They compress. It creates that friction. It creates that energy, and then it releases. And once it releases, when you get into that apex, and here's an example, boom, Bitcoin 2019, there it is. At any point, it can pop out. And it did. It ripped to the upside. And, you know, if you had gone long once you saw that first signal, or maybe you go long here when it pops above the 200, that's probably a smarter play. You know, that was an easy trade for you. You made like, you know, 180, 150, 200% on your Bitcoin. Now you say, well, you know, when do I get out? You get out of the trade when price touches that other 100-day moving average again. Okay. So we take a look here. Let's try to find an example of this happening again. Find an example here. Really, it just chopped sideways this entire time. One thing that you could have done, minus if you hadn't gotten shaken out by the COVID scare, is you could have held, and then you just would have done really, really well in your Bitcoin if you're a Bitcoin type of person. So from that entry point to one of these double tops, it's 11x on your Bitcoin. For Bitcoin, you know, people are happy about that. All right. So keep all that in mind. We'll check that out. We will check that out. Not touching my Alex back. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are at the point in our stream. We are at the point in our stream where, let me make sure that I'm going to get this right. Let me make sure I'm going to get this right. Okay, here's what you have to do. Here's what you have to do. There is a link in the description of this video, okay? A link in the description of this video, and you are required to click that link. And if you go to that link, and if you say the following, Rags has the biggest PP in Texas. I didn't come up with it. If Rags has the biggest PP in Texas, if you say that, cool things could happen to you. I don't know. So let's kind of check. Let's watch this live. Let's see if this happens. There's like a 10-second delay, so I get to watch this live. And if you notice, something good could have happened to you on Saturday when you did the same thing with the squirrels, right? So here it is. All right, people are coming in. I see Ted Nelson, RW, in the Telegram chat, blowing it up here. Godfather in there, Crippler. I wonder if the bots, I wonder if they could do, I mean, the bots are going crazy right now. Like, what is going on? This is hilarious. There's so many people in here, dude. They're just blowing up this poor 9-inch Dex Telegram with Rags as the biggest PP in Texas. Oh, they're putting eggplant emojis. Guys, listen. Kinetics, OG Texan OG Day One, C Hex, Freddie Quotes. You guys are blowing it up, ladies and gentlemen. We move mountains in the rags to riches community.
And his name is John C.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Good stuff. So, good things are going to happen. It might take a little bit for them to kind of judge, but they'll reach out to you. They'll talk to you. Good things could happen. Well done. That's probably the highlight of my day, even though I don't like you. God, I hate these crusties, man. Got the trap gravity. Godfather. Y'all are killing me, man. Okay. All right, let's get back to it. Let's keep going here. Let's figure out what's happening. Incentive token. Oh, man. How many guys? All right. Incentive token. How many people wrote off PulseX and incentive token during the bear market? How many people, man? Do you guys have any people just like trashed everybody for even saying its name? There's like one or two people in particular. Incentive token, man. Again, in our little private Telegram group, we created a nice little drawing. Like all influencers create nice little lines and charts and drawings to make people think that they're smart. That's how that goes. That's why I try to stay away from as much as possible. But what did we say here? What did we say? And I'll give you my reasoning. And I gave you some of my reasoning before. Okay. So let's share this. This is the incentive token chart. Now, people are going to say this is just a rewards chart. Okay. Why the heck would you put any money into a reward token? I'm going to tell you something. I think this means a lot. Richard Hart is not just the type of dude that's going to create something that doesn't, I think, make him look good or, I guess, contribute to his quote unquote glory. I believe that, right? So there's some interesting features about incentive token. I'm a firm believer that we don't yet know the implications and the usage of this. Maybe wallet implications, whatever the case may be. But here, let's not speculate too much. This is what we saw. We saw incentive token launch, and then we saw a complete fall off. A lot of people in this chat made a lot of money on incentive token. And here's what I know. I know incentive tokens on, Binance, for example. Guys, these things pumped with the rest of the market in a really, really big way. Okay, there's a lot to be said about buying and selling and liquidity. When things are green, people actually they hold more than when they're red. It's because they're just trying to play Russian roulette here. They're trying to hold on as long as they can to make as much profit until the bubble pops. So everything's going to pump. We've seen it. We can pull up charts to prove it. When we see these fall offs, when we see something that could be thought of as a capitulation candle. So we see this candle down here. And let me go to my draw tool. Brush. We saw this volume node, and then we saw a lot of interaction at this level. But we saw some wicks down, pretty significant wicks down to these levels. When I see that, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line straight over. And I know that a lot of you guys have heard me say this so many times, but it's so effective. We're going to draw that line straight over. And then we're going to say this. We're probably going to have a rebound after this huge dump candle here. We'll have a rebound back up 50, maybe 60% at the most. It retraces. And then it's going to fall back off. For some reason, price is attracted back to this level. You're going to think about this as inverse buoyancy. So price kind of comes down, chops down underneath this level. And it's kind of like when you drop a tennis ball in water and it goes under, but it bobs back up. And sometimes it pops up above the surface of the water. You could think about dropping a tennis ball. After we found this level, you're dropping a tennis ball. Once it crosses this level, it'll go underneath. Anything underneath here is, in my opinion, on many different charts, hundreds or thousands of charts that I've looked at over my time, this is good buying opportunity. And guys, correct me if I'm wrong, the folks who are in my chat, who are in the private Telegram group, I think that we called this pretty much at the beginning of December, if I'm not mistaken. We went over this quite a few times. I said, gentlemen, this could be a really good opportunity to accumulate before this thing kicks off. And sure enough, guys, I mean, it was at 41 cents, I think, on these two levels. Maybe you got in at like 50 or 60 cents. That top candle's in the 8X. We're still sitting at like a 5.4X right now. Or 5, that's not bad, folks. It's not bad. The important thing to remember here is this will chop sideways. You'll see these 100%, 200% pumps. It kind of does this and it kind of does this and retraces and goes sideways. And then there's a point in time, guys, where it just takes off for, 12 months or more. And I'm talking generally speaking. I'm not just saying incentive token. It'll take off and it'll never come back. It won't come back for like 12 or 18 months. Sometimes it never comes back, even if it retraces 99%. I mean, it will run. So this incentive token was at 70 or 80 bucks at the beginning. 70 or 80 bucks at the beginning. If any sort of use case comes out of this, I'm waiting for the first people. I think maybe it's there. I think Pulse DeLorean created some type of reflection for incentive token. But projects could be built with this. It's a little bit of a gamble, right? Because we don't know what the use case is going to be. And we're just speculating as to whether or not it will. But I think incentive token is going to run pretty hard. Interesting that you should bring that up. So you'll be able to clip me and say Rags was right or wrong later on. Let's check here. 10Xs are cool. Yeah. We're all down for those 10Xs. All right, let's check Communis. Okay, Communis on Pulse Chain. Interesting. Looks like the thickest liquidity for Communis is actually paired with incentive token, which we just talked about. Seems to be a pretty smart play. Ripped to the upside pretty well. So we say what? We say about 30 or 35% of all liquidity. Well, 43% of all liquidity is 30% of all liquidity is in Communis and incentive token. Let's see how it's doing US dollar value wise. Again, it's looking really good. I had a tremendous amount of communists on the Ethereum side, and quite frankly, I didn't even check. I'm not very familiar with. I know this is the secret weapon, but I'm not very familiar with why it is, because there's so much out there, man, and I've got my head buried sometimes. So maybe in the chat, you guys can give some context as to some of these updates, or you know what we could do? Let's just go to the Communist Telegram. Communist. And then let's see if there's anything pinned here that would give us an idea. Let's see if there's some pasta. Is there pasta? Can we pasta this thing? Pasta. Filters? No. Guide? /V guide. Don't answer any DMs. Okay. So, yeah, fill me in there. Fill me in. I don't see anything that I can quickly grab, so we're going to keep moving. But, for the most part, I certainly trust Crypto Coffee. I know he's talked a lot about this. And this will be a good opportunity maybe for me to go over next week to be able to talk about this in a smart way, in an intelligent way. Obi-Wan Kenobi, Jedi Master Associates Ltd. Gotta grab some dudes' butts. Roger that. Congrats on Texan Run, Max Payne says. Absolutely. Don't sleep on PulsePot, PLSP. Let's check PulsePot here. All right. So PulsePot, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like 10 or 14 days of launch here, PulsePot. Now, PulsePot is the world's first truly decentralized casino, and I believe this is created by Dev Jacob Everything on chain. Why decentralize a casino? Guaranteed fairness in the games. All game code is transparent and on chain. Guaranteed payouts. Instant payouts directly to your wallet every time you win. No censorship. Anyone with a wallet and crypto can enter the games. Lowest fees and highest RTP in the industry. Player versus player concept. All right. Liquidity wise, $187,000 worth of Pulse. So that's your exit liquidity. In terms of transactions, makers to transactions is about a 1 to 6. So that's typically higher than what we look at with other ones. So we had some sort of a sell-off here. The bottom floor, again, like we said, like 60 to 90%. This came in at about 56% here. And it looks like it's going to pop up above all-time high pretty soon. It's about 19% away. Now, a lot of this liquidity is paired with Pulse, which means as Pulse is pumping, that's also going to pump up with it. You can check out their Telegram and check out also their website. Let's check the website here. I am 18. Continue. So, okay. Win streak counter, Katie Semp, consecutive wins. Outstanding here. All right, so we've got Roulette, Fortune Wheel, Sports, Powerball, Price Calls, Video Slot, Plinko. Very interesting stuff. Tokenomics, you can learn all about this stuff. Looks like just a 4-inch. Who's winning today? I'm really not familiar with this. This is interesting, though. People are actually, there's a chat. So you can actually chat with folks on here with your wallet as your username, which is cool. All right. Yeah, it looks like it just went live. So all sorts of things to look up in here. B Roots fan, congratulations, just won 74,000 Pulse. Okay, cool. All right, outstanding. More and more use cases for Pulse Chain, more and more reasons for people to stick around. Less than 50% of the current viewers had clicked the like button. He says this is unacceptable. Rag says, what does Rag say?
Rags to riches. Do not like, comment, or subscribe.
Freddie Quotes in the house. Outstanding. Dude, we are at 1 hour, ladies and gentlemen, already? 1 hour already? Oh my gosh. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Dr. Pulse, actually, yeah. The secret about Calm is that if it reaches the 100% rate, that means if someone stakes, say, about $10,000 worth of Hex in the future, they will immediately be entitled to claim $10,000 worth of Calm to sell and buy Hex again. Oh, that's neat. That's a pretty cool concept. Pretty cool concept, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, be careful about doxing yourself. Thanks, Rags. PLSP is just getting started. They have a buy and burn. It's crazy. Go learn about these things, folks. If it piques your curiosity or your interest, be very, very careful. Don't nuke yourself. The whole point of this is to stay alive. There are some blue chips out there. They're also like in lottery tickets, like everybody likes to say, lottery tickets. I just say be very, very careful. Don't nuke yourself. You're so close to a strong bull run. And there's no point in getting involved in the degen memery. Okay, be smart. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from all over the world, my name is Rags Riches. As always, please do not like, comment, or subscribe. Rags out.